Woo! You hear me?
Yeah, it looks like we got some bars today. We're good. Hopefully.
Nice. Are you able to, like, how quickly are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, like, immediately, or?
Yeah, I don't think there's a delay.
Okay. Good.
Whoa, what's going on in the background, man? What is that?
Huh? Oh, this is my murder basement. You like that?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that? Tell me about that green screen, though. How much did you drop on that? Is it just like a blanket or something, or what is it?
It's like a huge ass sheet. I don't remember what I paid for it, but because I bought it like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and this is like the first time I've actually broke it out to use it. But
it's pretty badass, man. I like it.
Yeah, does all right.
So you just got them ready, huh? Just to bust them out.
I got a few loaded in there. Yeah.
Ah, man, I just ate some pizza, man. Whew.
Been working a lot.
Good. Yeah, Domino's has got a deal going on right now. Half off if you use the app.
Oh, I bet they do. I bet everybody's got a lot of deals going on right now.
That's probably right, yeah.
Because, Papa Murphy's, I usually get a text from them once a week. And this week I got a text every day doing some sort of offer. They really need to sell that pizza.
Yeah, I don't even think we got a Papa's Murphy, like, close by, I don't think. It's kind of weird.
What part of San Antonio do you live in?
Let's see.
Not that
I guess it's considered a north side, I guess. Maybe. Yeah.
So how close are you to, like, the River Walk?
Oh, about 20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I heard they shut down Idaho, man. What's going on with that?
We've got confirmed cases. We have a confirmed case in our town, and you probably have like 30 confirmed cases or hundreds of confirmed cases where you're at.
Oh, I think everybody's infected, man. That's what I think. A lot of people walking around with masks everywhere, man. It's crazy.
I don't know. I've gone quite a while
woman with a mask. Symptoms. You gone quite a while? Is that what you said?
No symptoms. Yeah, either I might be asymptomatic, but my kids aren't getting sick either. We've been laying.
Yeah, but you're not going anywhere though, right? You're not going nowhere.
Yeah, we've been. Well, I went to the store yesterday, but we're not going anywhere often. I've been out probably 3 times in the past 2 weeks. So
3 times, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly the city's shut down and everybody's going everywhere.
Yeah,
that's something.
Something else. I'm waiting to see. I was listening to a show today, a different podcast that was talking about the Spanish flu of 1918.
Yeah,
and it like had 3 waves, where it like everybody basically they tried kind of a similar approach where people were like doing the social distancing type thing or whatever they would have called it at the time, like don't touch the other. I don't know, but they were doing that, but people got tired of it as the next waves came through. They're like, oh, it's not working, so fuck it. So I think we're about to repeat history.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, man. I mean, it's really crazy. The whole Spanish 18 flu thing, and then the recession, the Great Depression. I guess it kind of go hand in hand. And the stock market crashed, and then unemployment rates were soaring, and that's pretty much what we got going on now.
Yeah. So I'm personally in a unique position, or at least a fortunate position right now, because I work from home. But that could eventually, I mean, our business is slowed down too, because there aren't people going out. So, I mean, our jobs aren't any, like my job is safe and secure for now, but it might not be a month from now.
No. You got like the most ginormous microphone ever made.
Well, I used to have podcast before. It's actually the cover. The cover's too big for the mic, but I bought it because it was cheap. But
Oh, okay. Wow. How much was that cover? Like $1,000?
now it's like $6.
No, it's $6, right? Well, you know they got new covers now, right? I mean, you can always switch it up.
I just bought this cover not that long ago. They didn't make covers for
Man,
the universal guy. See, the mic's not that big. See,
what kind of mic is that?
it's a MXL 990 condenser mic.
So when you gonna get what is it? A Rupert? Is that what it's called? No, that's probably didn't sound right. The what is that expensive fucking mic? What is it called?
The Shure.
No, it's more expensive than that.
Are you talking about the ones that like Joe Rogan uses?
No, this one's like, I don't know. I think the cheapest one's like $1,500. I think.
No,
I forgot
I'm
the
not
name of it.
Any shit like that. No, if I get another mic, it's going to be comparable to this or cheaper. I'm cheap, man. I'm not going to spend money I don't have to.
Oh man, it's been a long week of work, man. I still got another day. How many hours you working over there?
We work about 40 hours a week. We had overtime for a while, but that got taken away because we don't really have a need for it right now. So that's what it is. Are you still working overtime?
It's starting to be a little choppy over there.
Are you starting to work overtime?
I don't know. I thought we were gonna hear something today, but we didn't hear anything. Maybe tomorrow we'll hear something, but hopefully, I'm trying to buy a car, man. Looking at all these cars, and I'm like, I need so much money. I'm looking at laptops too. I was looking at maybe a MacBook. Get like an older one, like an i5 processor. It's not that expensive.
Yeah, I like notebooks or tablets and stuff like that, or even just like the laptops. That's what I'm using right now. But it would be nice to have like a actual computer tower nailed down in place where I'm not moving it around all the time, because then I don't run into that problem where I got to reconnect everything and reconfigure everything and make sure all my USB ports work, because I'm keeping it all connected the same way every time, so it's not going to fuck with it.
Yeah, you probably need some new headphones, man. It's kind of messing with the sound a little bit.
My headphones?
Yeah, every time you move around, it crackles.
I'm not sure what that's doing.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna go crazy. But yeah, man, that fucking coronavirus, dude. I really don't understand it though. So the flu is basically what you're looking out for, and then maybe if you got a high temperature, and I don't know, man. I've never personally known anybody that's been really fucked up over the flu. I mean, I'm talking about maybe 3 days, maybe 4 or 5 at the latest, at the max. But I mean, if that's all we're worrying about, then I don't know. Maybe it's a little blown out of proportion. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think we're at the point now where I think the goal is just to basically slow down getting infections. Like, we're gonna, like, if you haven't got it yet, there's a pretty good likelihood that you will get it eventually. But I think the idea is to slow to basically slow the progression of it so that it doesn't overwhelm the hospital system. And so I get that, but at the same time, I think that too many people on both having both opinions, like too many people that either think that this is bullshit or think that this is the only way we're going to stop it, think that it's going, like, the idea is to stop it. And the idea isn't to really stop it. It's just to slow it down so that we don't fucking screw over the health system and then overwhelm it to the point that more people die from other kinds of conditions rather than just that.
Well, what do you think about this though? Maybe we're looking at it the wrong fucking way, because I mean, in our reality, people are supposed to die, right? Now, by keeping everybody alive as long as you can, that's just I don't think that's helping anybody out.
No, yeah, I think that we play God a little bit. I think that's kind of where you're going with that idea. I think I don't want to die, and I don't want to be in a position um, where I'm put on the back burner because of somebody else. And I think that could potentially happen. It may not necessarily be due to something like this or the coronavirus specifically. I could get in a car accident and there might not be a bed for me because 6 grandmas have all the beds because they're have that respiratory coronavirus illness, and that's fine. But I need a fucking bed. I just got in a fucking car accident. Feel sorry for me, Joe. Need a bed.
Man, you know what it is, man? Like, yeah, I've been reading all over the place that these old people, they're not even helping them out anymore unless they're fucking dying. Like they're just saying, we ain't got no room for you. And I think that's just the way to go, man. Because if you're 70, if you're 90, if you're 1,000 years old, I mean, come on, how much longer do you want to fucking live? This is craziness. You know what I mean? And it gets to the point where it's just there's not enough room, there's not enough resources. I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. These people are supposed to go. They're not supposed to live to 150, 120, 105, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's getting a little crazy there with the numbers,
more
but
of them are like
see what I'm saying?
80s, but 70s and 80s. But yeah, I do see what you're saying. I would say that our population as a whole, as a world, is high. So, but the amount of people, this isn't going to be like isn't going to have a huge impact as far as population control goes. It's not going to cut the population down so much so that we're going to have any kind of profound impact that it's going to make things better as far as people's carbon footprints and like pollution and all that stuff goes. It's nothing. Like it's a fraction of the world population that will die off from this. But that being said, I think more people could die if measures weren't taken to slow the progression, and they wouldn't necessarily die from coronavirus. They would die from other things, other ailments, because the medical system would be overwhelmed to the point that it couldn't keep up, and some of them would collapse.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though. I mean, I went to work today, and there wasn't any Lysol wipes. So I just went to my desk, didn't clean nothing, and proceeded to do whatever I was supposed to do, you know? I said, fuck it. It's not that big of a deal, man. You know, it gets too crazy, man. I mean, there's just a point in your life where you're just like, you know what? If this is what's going to take me down, then I think I'll be okay with it. Now, I kind of believe in something called fate, right? Now, I feel like it's predetermined. Maybe you can change it a little bit, but not too much. And if you're supposed to go, you're supposed to go, man. There's not really much you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't control when you're going to die. If it happens, it's going to happen. Well, I mean, I guess you can't. I mean, people that commit suicide could make a better argument in favor of you can control it because I'm going to control it now. But people that want to live can't really decide how long or when, and I don't have I'm not a very religious person, so it's not like, well, it was meant to be or his time came or anything like that. I think it's just, it's kind of luck of circumstance and just happen, how you happen to prevail over whatever circumstance comes your way is going to dictate whether or not you survive something. I mean, I could walk out the door and meteor could smash me into the sod of my yard when I'm done here with you today. I don't know.
Oh, I think it's too much, though, man. I think a lot of these old people, it seems like most of the people that want them around just kind of see them like an old episode of Futurama, where it's just a head and they're just kind of barely, trucking along, and they're just kind of seem more or less like a mascot. It's more for the family's well-being than it is for the actual old person. Because the families are like, oh, man, once they're gone, I don't know how long it's going to take me to recover from this trauma, this mental trauma. And the
Right.
old people are just, they're not really doing anything. They're just there.
I think it depends on the old person. We've talked about your position on the elderly before, but I think there are old people that are very with it, and then there are old people like, I don't know. Did you ever go when you were a kid? Did like you ever have like a grandparent or a parent that drug you into a nursing home to see whatever relative of yours?
No, all my grandparents died at a young age.
Okay, so you've never been
after
like
another, yeah.
trucked through a nursing home to see like a relative.
I think that's probably got to be one of the saddest things you can ever see. Like it'd be like visiting a family member in prison, I think.
Well, it's a little bit better than that. Does prison have bingo? Because there's a lot of bingo in assisted living facilities.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on that's a lot funner than, bingo. If that's what you want to, throw into the mix, I guess. Shit, man. It more or less is like a fucking prison. I don't think people's rooms or wherever they live at, they're probably in the day room, like the lobby or something.
Yeah. Well, I think my memory of it is a lot of people there they're not very happy being there. And so it's kind of, and there are people that are happy, but it's a weird experience from an outsider point of view, because you're going there and old people have old, wrinkly, thin skin that looks like it's going to peel off. And it's, when you're a kid, that's the way you perceive. It's like, ew, don't, yeah, and their veins are all bulging out, and so you kind of look and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to break them. And I also and you also feel kind of like gross, like they're gonna, I don't know, like, so I'm gonna wear sweatshirts and stuff when I'm old, so that I don't gross my grandkids out.
But they smell like death, man. Another thing that I thought about today. I've heard some conversations.
Like mass amounts of perfume. It's tons of perfume, man. Grandmas wear so much perfume.
What is that fucking shit, man? What is that? That old stuff.
I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it was when it was introduced, but it's like there comes a point in your old age when everybody gets the same perfume and then they apply it in mass amounts because it's the same smell and it's awful.
It is really bad. But, one thing I heard today on the phones, there was this old lady talking about, she misses, her grandchild, her grandbaby, and she can't be around the grandbaby, but the COVID-19, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so you are probably going to die anyways, and the last memories you want to have is not spending any time with your loved ones. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't fucking understand it. Like, if I was in that position where I was the old person and, I had a bunch of family that I really cared about and really loved, I think I'd roll the fucking dice, man, all fucking day to spend as much time as I can with them. Coronavirus or not, whatever pandemic's going on.
Yeah, I could see that. I lost my mom when I was about 12 years ago. And I could say if it was something like related to like the coronavirus and I was told that I couldn't go around her because she had the coronavirus, I would be like, nah, I'll take my chances.
But that's the type of mentality that a lot of these families have, though. They don't want to spend any time with each other because they're scared of the unknown. The boogeyman is fucking real, and it seems like it's scaring the fuck out of everybody. But I don't know. I can't sit there and honestly say that me myself, I'm gonna do all the stuff that everybody else is doing because, man, you only live once, man. Time does not fucking stop for anybody. So whatever's going on in the world, you just gotta make the best of it and try to be happy. And I feel like a lot of people aren't doing that these days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having fun doing this whole quarantine thing. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's I've seen it as kind of a challenge, and I think it's practice before something bigger comes. I think this isn't gonna this is gonna pale in comparison to what's gonna come within probably the next 5 years. We're gonna have something more devastating come down the pike. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be something, and we're gonna be forced to deal with it. And those of us who practiced well and got to start are going to do better than those of us that kind of looked the other way or didn't care. I don't know. It's just, I'm playing along. I'm having fun. If I didn't have anybody that I cared about and worried about their well-being, I might just kind of like be out there kind of throwing caution to the wind, not worrying about myself. If I was just coming home to myself and not my wife and kids, it would be I'd probably be a little more fast and loose with how I'm behaving, which is not a popular thing to say, but I'm also not trying to win any favor with anybody over that. It's the nature of what it is. I see the few times that I do go out, the people that I see out are just as brazen as fuck. They don't care. They're just walking. They're out and about. We live in northern Idaho, and nobody gives a fuck up here.
You know, I follow actually this guy I know from another job. He always posts a bunch of shit. And he claims not to have any time, but every 5 minutes he's posting something different. And he's always talking about this. It's always political, man. Like there's this one that says Trump's against digital currency because it's globalist agenda. He's talking about the Bitcoin, and then conspiracy theorists always been the same people. It's called critical thinking. On top of that, conspiracy theories are getting proven true every single day. I mean, he's just got more and more and more shit just down the pipeline. I think one of the things that he reposted, he shared was the fucking what was it? Something about the Bible, something about Armageddon kicking off, and there's gonna be you got the coronavirus. All right, is that what it looks like? That's funny.
I don't know. Now everybody's just getting virus pictures and making memes. They don't know. Nobody knows what it looks like. Maybe there's an image of what the virus itself looks like, but I think everybody's just grabbing stock images that are already out there. This is just a stock image.
Anyway, the next thing he posted was he was talking about Armageddon, and you know how it says the trumpets are supposed to sound to signal it, and then he said, I don't know, it was like a repost from Twitter, I think, and the guy said, "What if they meant the Trump Pence?" You know, kind of like to play with words there.
Yeah,
I was like, wow. I mean, that's the type of shit people come up with, man. Just kind of scare everybody and try to make it seem like they're coming up with original thoughts. And I mean,
conspiracy theorists are the best. They can string something out of anything.
You know, he posted something else where this guy was having a press conference. Somebody, I don't know, some politician, and he was calling the coronavirus COVID-19 an exercise. Like live, he was calling it an exercise. So whatever that means.
Oh, well, I mean, it's kind of what I said. This is practice for a bigger thing. And I feel, and if it's, I don't think it's a hoax. I think it's a real thing. I think maybe we're treating it a little bit more aggressively than we maybe need to, but I don't know. I mean, I get the whole idea, like we talked about, with keeping the hospitals in play and slowing it down enough for that. But at the same time, I think it's somewhat reactionary, and it's overreactionary after the fact. I think if we had done some things initially, it wouldn't be so much, but it is an exercise because you have people that are going to use this and actually it's in an effort to see how well we manage this as a whole. Now, today I saw that the United States is we have surpassed China in the number of cases. confirmed cases. So we're number one.
I mean, what does it look like, though? I mean, nobody's interviewing these people. Nobody's interviewing the sick people and then putting them on TV or on the internet and being like, "What is going on with you? Are you fucking dang? Tell us what's happening in your body."
Putting out videos. There are people putting out videos. There's I mean, this is a ripe opportunity for a lot of people to be putting out blogs and stuff. You better believe if I got coronavirus, I'd be all over the internet talking about it. You would too. Talking about your symptoms.
I don't know, man. I don't know what this
like,
this coronavirus. I don't even know if it'd be real though. Like, is it real though? That's what I want to know.
It's real.
I mean, I have yet to meet one person that fucking has or looks like they have coronavirus. You know what I mean? What do they look like? Right? Do they look like a zombie?
They're sick. You saw Tom Hanks. Idris Elba had it. A couple other people had it. Higher profile people.
I don't know, man. I just think it's kind of like the flu, and then hopefully people freak the fuck out some more, and there's more chaos, and at the end of the day, everybody just laughs about it, because they freak the fuck out.
Yeah, one of my co-hosts said he was hoping for basically total chaos, and because he kind of welcomes all this stuff excitedly. And instead, it's just been people in their sweatpants complaining. And I think that's a great analogy for it.
I kind of feel like give it a month, and then we're going to see the true nature of what humans are really made of. You know what I mean? As far as chaos and, killing each other and looting and robbing and just basically doing anything to survive because they're brainwashed by the fake media, as Trump says,
Yeah, the looting is the one thing I'm a little bit concerned about occurring after a certain point. Those stimulus checks they're sending out aren't going to go very far as far as like rescuing people from the brink of it. But I already have mine spent in my head. We're getting an 86-inch TV, man. How
much is that?
They're sending every individual out $1,200.
How much is the TV though?
Oh, the TV? The 86-inch I think is like the one I looked at. There's two at Costco. One is like $2,600, and the other one is like $18. And I think I'm gonna get the $1,800 one because we're getting a family size one. Our stimulus is gonna be like $3,900.
Wow.
So, we're going to stimulate the economy.
It's crazy, though.
I'm going to do this. If I'm going to do this fucking shit and be holed up forever, I'm going to do it in fucking style, man. I want to if I'm going to be stuck watching my TV every night and weekend for however long, I might as well watch it on 86 inches.
Why wouldn't you just get one of those projection screens?
We have
a way bigger screen.
Yeah, those aren't as great. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. My computer was making some noise. I want to make sure I didn't lose my connection.
Yeah, it's a little choppy. I don't know if you can hear it. It's a little choppy, the connection. I don't know why. Maybe
I'm not here.
Too many people are on the internet. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is home, working from home. I'm working from home. A lot of people are working from home. It's just bogging down the infrastructure. I think, that's going to definitely have an impact and take a toll after a certain point.
They get a 6-inch TV at Walmart right now, Walmart lately, but they have a 65-inch TV. They have a few like 4K ready and all that bullshit for like $428. I think the 86-inch TVs are more expensive because they're kind of like a specialty model, right? They have to make them specifically, right? They don't make too many of those.
Yeah, because they're so big. Yeah, 65 used to be that way. We have a 70-inch right now, but it's like 7 years old, and so it's not 4K, and it's not like. And I've never cared about that stuff. If I cared about it, it wouldn't be 7 years old. But I do care about if I'm going to have, I might as well have 86 inches, right?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't really watch too much TV these days, you know? Like
There's some good
I don't know.
programming.
Do you guys watch a lot of TV?
Probably more than we should be. Yeah. I watch a lot of TV.
So what do you got? A smart TV, or what do you got? Home, Apple Home, or
no, I have
the Fire Stick?
I have a Fire Stick. Yeah, we got a Fire Stick. I have a Fire Stick on all my TVs. Like we have so many TVs, it's not even funny. And the TV that we have is 70 inches, and it's not dead yet, and I don't know when it's going to die. So I don't know where I'm going to put it when I get rid of it.
Hey, put it in the kids' room, man.
To replace it with my 80.
And make them sit a foot away.
No, my kids have TVs. My kids have TVs.
Yeah, make them sit a foot away, man. That's crazy. Like, I can't even imagine having a screen that big. Like, what the fuck? At the wall right here in the shed. I mean, it's pretty big. I'm just looking at it. It's a big screen just hanging from wall to wall, man. It'd be insane.
Yeah. So, what are your plans with your stimulus money? Are you going to get? Are you going to get your podcast gear? Is that what you're looking at?
You know, I kind of want to buy a car, man, but I don't really know. I've been looking at cars everywhere here lately, and it just seems like a really hard decision to make. You know, there's so many good cars, so many shitty ones, and then it's like, do I want a shitty one, or do I want like a all right one that's maybe has some Bluetooth in it? You know,
Yeah.
So I don't really know. Yeah, I'm thinking about the state of the world, and cars probably just gonna get stolen anyway. So, you know,
Good.
Just better off just riding the bus, man.
Car theft is up. A lot of other crimes are going down, but car theft is increasing exponentially.
Well, I don't see why right now at this very moment, because, you know, it used to be if you lived, you know, close to the border, you could just, you know, just go straight across and then, you know, sell it in Mexico somewhere, you know, wash your hands, so to speak. And now, I mean, they're closing down the borders, so I don't really know what they're going to do with all the cars.
Run and hide in the woods somewhere. I don't know. Maybe that's what the plan is. Everybody's going to go out and find their own place to be away from the virus. Going to hermit it up.
Do you think it'd be such a bad idea to sit here and just maybe just hoard all your money, you know, save it for a truly rainy day, or invest in some gold or something? The stock market, because it's going to go up eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's already had 3 good days, 3 whole good days since it took a dump. I think we're up. Let me look here. It was up 860 points today. Oh no, 1,300 points today, and it went up yesterday, and it went up the day before. We're back up in we're at 22.5 now, and it got all the way down to 19.
So what are you drinking over there? What do you got?
I don't have anything right now. I just finished my my Monster energy.
Oh, yeah,
drink.
the Monster. Oh.
Yeah.
But you got a fridge in there, right?
I sure do.
What's in there? I mean, don't you have plenty of beer in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's full. I got Henry's.
Oh, that's all you buy is Henry's, okay.
Fuck yeah. Well,
is that something from Trader Joe's?
No, that's from the grocery store, man. We don't have I don't have a Trader Joe's over here. Oh, everybody talks about Trader Joe's. I don't even know what that is. We don't have one. We don't have it. I don't know where the nearest Trader Joe's is.
Wow. I'm kind of looking at you right now and probably thinking to myself, like, in your mind, you're probably like, what's a McDonald's? What's a Whataburger? You know? It's like Amish country over there, right?
No, fuck, dude. We got a little bit more going on than that.
You're like, we got some potatoes, man. That's what we eat every night. Potatoes a la king, you know?
We went to New York a couple of years ago, and one of the restaurants were touting that they had French fries made from Idaho potatoes. It's like, good fucking deal. So we had potatoes from home. So.
Hey, what's the deal with fucking New York, man? Like they're always talking about their amazing pizza, and then you look at the city as a whole, and it seems like there's a lot of shitty people living over there, and then they got a massive rat problem. So your pizza can't be that fucking good. I'm just saying.
Well, they have to have all their restaurants have to be like graded. So I can't remember what the grading system is over there, but basically they have to put these little things in their window, like A, B, or C, and if they don't meet the requirements or whatever the information they put in there doesn't meet the specific requirement, then they basically don't get the grade or they get shut down. I don't think you could be a D. I don't think they could be rated a D. Not sure why my camera keeps falling in and out of focus, but it's okay. But yeah, it's like a Zagat thing or something. I don't remember. Let me look here.
I've actually eaten at a restaurant that had like a D posted on the window.
Really?
The person I was with, going to the restaurant, I asked them, I said, hey, do you really want to go into this establishment, rated a D? And they were like, I guess. Why not? And I'm like, all right, I guess, man. Fuck it, man.
Just chance
It's probably rat poop in there and shit. And I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think there's a lot of I don't know. New York is just such a place that I don't think that not everybody there is. New York touts itself as this place that's just full of intelligent people, but I think a lot of people there are really fucking stupid.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of New York. I don't see what everybody else sees. I don't know what it is.
We enjoyed visiting. It was fun visiting there. We spent 4 days there. Went around and did some of the local attractions. Went to a couple of Broadway shows, and that was kind of fun. Don't judge me, asshole.
I don't know, man. That's crazy. How many rats did you see? That's a real question.
Only inflated ones outside of the hotel that we were at, because there was they do that when there's scabs doing a job, if the union members strike, and then there's scab employees that are doing work on the thing, and they go and they inflated giant rat outside of it's a real 80s antiquated, New York is kind of one of those places that feels almost kind of like it's stuck in time. They're making technological advancements, sure, but they're also when we go around, it's oh wow, they're actually it's kind of stuck back in the 80s. Or it's my memory of movies that I would see with New York in the 80s. They've updated things, but at the same time, they haven't really made a lot of forward progress in terms of as far as that goes. They're still putting out inflatable rat, fucking come on, guys, figure out a different way to protest. I mean, this rat was I don't know, it's 40 feet tall, and it's inflated by this the thing that makes those things that wave around in the air.
Oh yeah, the little air machine. Yeah. Whenever you get that 86-inch TV, man, you got to watch that documentary called Rats on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No. There's a documentary.
You got to wait till you get the big screen, though, man. Yeah. It's fucking awesome, man.
We did see a dead rat.
Yeah.
I saw a couple dead rats. I didn't see any live ones. But they have a garbage.
I saw a possum at work today.
Did you?
Yeah, it was just pure daylight, man. I think it was noon. Just kind of walking around, and I think it lives in a tree. One of the trees there at work.
Ugliest animal.
Yeah, it didn't look that bad though. It kind of looked kind of friendly. I don't know. I've seen the mean ones though. I know what you're talking about.
Well, no, they're just ugly looking. They're kind of the little beady eyes. They can be friendly all day long, but they just don't look raccoons are cute, but they're vicious as fuck. I had a paper route when
you can actually adopt raccoons, man.
I don't know that I want to. I had a paper route when I was 22, and I had 3 of them run across the road where I was delivering papers. And they started running, and then all of a sudden they just started infighting. They started fighting each other, and then it was like this vicious rolling in the road. And then they got up and took off. They're mean. Raccoons are mean. I wouldn't want to.
You talking about possums or raccoons? Oh,
Raccoons.
raccoons. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I used to live in Dallas, there was a man-made lake, by the neighborhood where I used to live at, next to Sam's, and every night you'd pass by. Like if you did pass by, anyways, there'd be some possums crossing the man-made lake, and then there'd be like one big fat one, and then it'd be a bunch of little ones just holding on to the tails,
Oh yeah,
of
yeah.
each one.
Yeah, those tails are like.
So I mean, it just goes to show you, man, the coronavirus would not stop a family of possums from getting together, but yet us as humans, though, a bunch of us don't want to be around our families, and supposedly we love them. So that's insane. I mean, are you taking that stance though against your family? I don't know if you have family in Idaho.
My family.
We're not gonna.
We've been adhering to the social distancing because my wife's grandma is like 86 years old. So, and she's still pretty active, but we don't want to like get her sick if we have it.
What does that mean? She's active. Come on, Ward. What the fuck does that mean, man?
She goes up and down.
What is she? Sexually active or what? Or is that what you're talking about?
No, man. She's just she gets around. She takes care of herself.
What does that mean, though? She gets around and she takes care of herself. Isn't that what everybody does?
Well, yeah, but she's 86. A lot of 86-year-olds sit around and don't take care of themselves, and they get fed porridge from a spoon. She still lives in her own house. She's functional. She gets around and takes care of herself. She does her own laundry. Yeah, she goes up the stairs, down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
Great.
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just an oddball in the world, but like when you're fucking old, man, you're old, you're working, you're just taking up space. Like, why are you still here? That's what I'm wondering. Like, why are you still around? Like, most of them are just getting money from the government. They don't contribute anything. They just sit on the phone and gossip all day. They do the same shit every day. They wake up at whatever hour they wake up. They sit on the couch or their favorite chair, collecting Cheeto dust and other dust mites. And then they gossip on the phone about this and that. And then, that's pretty much their day, man. They go back to sleep.
Yeah, but if you ever want to know what's going on in your community, like if you live in a small community, I live in a much smaller community than you do. You got to talk to the old people. They know what's going on. A lot of them.
What do they know what's going on, Ward? What do they know, man?
What's getting built in town? What's going on with this? It's just a gossip circle. They know what's going on. Like, we're going to get a Target.
Well, I guess if you want to know the latest news about Targets and local businesses open up,
Well, see, we've had a lot close in our area. So we had a Shopko, a Kmart, and a Macy's that have all closed within the same year. It impacts me zero because I do most of my shopping online, so it doesn't really bother me. I've been an
Have you noticed though?
2007.
Have you noticed though that most of the people who are dying from the COVID-19 are all people that already have related like health risks or they're already dealing with something health wise?
Yeah, most of the people that are dying are like I heard that in one of the press conferences the other day. And so it was almost like they were kind of excusing it. It's like, well, these people already fucked up their lives by having prevailing health issues. So it's their own fault they're dying. Was kind of like, and that was not the message that was being delivered, but it was how I was perceiving it when it was being delivered by the lady that was giving the information. I was like, and I could see that if people are like, if it's a smoker or somebody that's like on a ventilator because they smoked for years and years, and then they, now they suddenly can't breathe very well, and then they catch the COVID-19, and then they're kind of fucked.
I don't know about you, man, but I've been pretty, I don't know. I might be one of the healthiest people alive. in America right now.
And
You
you're a
know?
sneaker.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any health problems. Never broken a bone. You know, I played football, played sports, you know, in my life as a kid. Um, I've been in plenty of accidents, you know, in a vehicle. I think I'm clocking it at maybe 20. And then probably out of those 20, we're talking about maybe a third that were major accidents. Never broken anything. Never had nothing wrong with me. And I look at everybody else and I'm just kind of thinking to myself, what are they doing wrong that I'm not doing? You know what I mean?
Man, it's just luck, man. I feel pretty good for being my age, but then the other day, I started playing hockey about a year and a half ago, and I crashed into a guy about a week and a half ago, and landed on the guy and ended up like fracturing ribs. So I've been in like excruciating pain for the past week and a half. Like the past week,
That's funny.
it's been like
Wow.
when you crack a rib, it actually gets worse. After about a week, it starts to like really ramp up. And now I'm kind of in the ramp down phase where it's like not as bad as it was. But like, man, 3 days ago, I could barely move.
Wow. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what you chalk that up to, man. Like, you know, I mean, there's a couple of things out there that'll fuck me up. But I mean, if I don't do those certain things without, you know, preparing myself for it, then, you know, it's my own doing, you know?
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, give me 2 seconds.
It is like 100 degrees.
It's 100
You're
degrees
gonna get
there?
a beer?
Yeah, just a second.
Woo! We're fucking live on the Joe Madness page. This is time to go mad, right? I have no idea why they call it that. But of course you already know I'm the fucking host, man. The Joe Madness show. It's fucking popping. Usually every fucking night, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. You know, the last couple nights it just didn't work out. I don't know why. It's one of those things. You know, you put on a show every fucking night and then they can't all be fucking gold, man.
What you talking about?
Oh, I was just you know, talking over dead air. So yeah, the past couple nights, it's just I don't know. I've been feeling kind of depressed. I don't know what it is. You know, I haven't been feeling it myself, and you know, I try to jump on every night. And past couple nights, I think I did like 40 minutes, and I wasn't really feeling it. You know what I mean? I usually can go about a couple hours, an hour and a half, and I'm just like, man, I'm just so tired and depressed about something. And you know what? I actually got my girlfriend though. I actually got her teddy bear made out of roses.
Nice. I guess that's a way to.
Yeah, I got it delivered today.
Nice. She like it?
Yeah, you know, she said she loved it, and she sent me a picture of it, and I was like, damn, that thing looks nice. It looks beautiful, you know?
So let me ask you a question. When I first started interacting with you a little bit, you said your girlfriend told you to talk to me. How involved did you have your girlfriend in all of the how involved do you have your girlfriend in all of the goings on of your show?
I don't remember that, but I mean, maybe it happened.
Oh, dude, I had
I don't
some
know. I mean,
from you.
if she has if she watches something, if she has a question, I mean, I'll fucking answer it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting there trying to be like, oh, that's business or something. You know, like, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal to me. I mean, if anybody asks me though, I'm pretty much an open book, man. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't really hide anything from anybody.
No, it was
What about you?
Eliciting your. What about me?
Oh, I was just asking about your wife. Is she pretty involved in your show, or she doesn't
No.
really care?
No.
She's just like, keep me out of it.
Yeah, it's pretty much a solo deal. I mean, she's actually done the show a couple times, but pretty irregularly. It's not something she's that into. It's kind of like it's basically the impetus of doing the show was to kind of just have like time with friends. where I don't have to go to the bar. I don't like going to the bar. It's and bars are expensive, so this is a little less costly for me.
So what were you saying about the? I don't know. You were going to say something before I interrupted you.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Oh, you were talking about my girlfriend being involved, and
oh
then
no,
you said something about messages. I guess.
Remember you. When I sent you a bunch of messages when I was like basically saying I wanted to have you on the show, and you were. It was a big. What's in it for me? Was your approach? Because you wanted money.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm always really hesitant to work with anybody. You know, I don't think I really work with too many people. And
well, they were pushing so many buttons. I wouldn't have wanted to work with anybody either because I would have felt like it was going to be an attack.
Yeah, I wasn't really worried about that. It's just more like,
well, what's the gain? What's to be gained from it?
From working with somebody?
Well, I could see the potential gains for it, but I mean, in the initial interactions, you don't know a person. What are you going to gain from it? Someone's just out of the blue saying, "Hey, I want you to do my show." You need more specifics.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, perfect example. There's this guy. I call him a guy, but I mean, I don't know how old he is. Kind of seems like a kid to me, like 18, 20 maybe. And he's been wanting me to do his show, and then, you know, he's kind of like, "Hey, you know, maybe we could squeeze you in for next week." You know, this is the first time I talked to him. I was thinking, this bitch, man, say something else. Like, I don't even want to do this to begin with. And then you're acting like you're big time over here. You're big timing me, you know?
That's what we all do, though. We all got a big time a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to do this video call, I guess, kind of like live with this one guy, you know, because he gave me a lot of praise, and I just kind of wanted to pick his brain about it, like more or less just like, why did you give me that praise? Because, you know, he's more of an audiophile, you know, and as you can tell, my shit's not really on point with anything, really. You know, I'm kind of like behind the times here, but, you know, he's more about quality and sound and all that stuff, and I have neither of those, like, as far as sound goes and production, you know, value, I guess.
So you
yeah, basically just recommended me to this kid, and then don't want what?
You wanted to pick his brain to see what drew him to you.
Well, you know, anybody drops something like that about you, and I mean, they go around just shitting on all the podcasts, and then, you know, they say nobody's bringing nothing, and then, you know, they're saying that, you know, if you want to be one of the best out there, like this guy, and he drops my name, I'm just kind of like, why would he do that? I mean, I don't know. It's not because I don't like my product or anything. It's just curious, you know, just curiosity. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we've kind of touched on this a little bit when we've talked before. It's kind of you're offering something that's outside of the norm of what it's something that was there before, but has kind of like faded into the distance a little bit. Not a lot of people are actually doing this kind of content, the kind of content that you're doing anymore. Everybody's all the podcasters that are starting shows are trying to start something within a specific vein. And that was never my goal. Our show's a little bit like kind of in like a pop culture vein, but it kind of slipped there naturally because like all of my co-hosts and myself are into like pop culture topics, movies, television, that kind of thing. So we all kind of talk about different facets of that. So that's kind of how we landed there. But it was done in an organic way. We didn't get there overnight. The premise of our show was to just kind of talk about what was on our minds and just to talk about whatever. And a lot of people now are coming out with shows where they're kind of there's so many true crime shows out there. Then there's history shows. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, they're trying to tap into something where they're going to get an audience. And a lot of people are looking for something that's drilled down and specific to what they're looking for. And somebody wants to listen to, say, just a history show.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
And I'm not that passionate about any specific subject that I want to talk about that one specific subject on the weekly every week and to put together the content, because you got to do a lot of research and a lot of you don't want to get fact checked by somebody, and I don't have time to do a bunch of research. So I think what you're giving to the genre, or to the not the genre, but to the podcast environment right now, you're kind of shaking it up a little bit with a little bit of attitude, and I think that's appealing to a lot of people. I think, or not necessarily a lot of people, because a lot of people on, like, say that promote your podcast page, look at what you're doing.
Yeah, it's more like a niche, man. It really is.
They don't like it, because they're like, you're coming in, and whether your opinions are founded or not, if you say you don't like something, they need like real specific, drilled down reasons why you don't like something. And not everybody can always pinpoint why they don't specifically like something, or what the reason behind not liking something is. And so I don't want to keep going back to that gal. I can't remember her name. You told me her name last week.
Oh, shit.
She sounded fat. I was like, and she wasn't the only one. A lot of people were bitching because, like, and it was just these little critiques, and I couldn't get over how petty they sounded. And I mean, yeah, you were leveling the critiques, but at the same time, if they were taking it that personally, that's a little bit, that's kind of on them at that point. I'm like, if you're so above that and beyond that, then stop worrying about what Joe Madness has to say about you, and worry about the content of the content you're putting out there. If you think it's so fucking wonderful, then get out there and just fucking do it. Joe Madness. And that was what it was like. That was what was getting me, is like, all these fucking people getting all fucking up in arms. Get over yourself.
Yeah, man, it's hard though. Like, if I were to sit here and describe my show, I would just kind of say it's a biography, really. I mean, sometimes I talk about stuff that's going on in the world, but not really. I mean, I don't really sit here and say that, let's review podcasts or anything. I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of bored. Let's listen to some shows and just kind of talk about them. That's basically what I do.
Yeah, because I've caught you here and there, and I feel like you've kind of moved beyond the point of like being critical, and you're just kind of there in the, and that I look at as an evolution. So.
Yeah, it's just, it is what it is, man. Like, my show's always been about me, though. It's been about like my adventures, my opinions about what's going on in the world, and my show is basically formed around what's happening in my life. Now, if there's nothing going on, like right now, it's a really hard fucking sell. It really is. Because the only thing I hear about on the daily, 24 fucking hours a day, is coronavirus. You know what I mean? So it makes it really hard to do a show. But, man, it's just, on top of that,
it's all you're stuck
just the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not that, I'll welcome a discussion about it, but man, we got to move on to some other stuff, because we can't. Everybody out there that is a content creator right now is talking about the coronavirus.
Yeah, but I've been talking about it, though. You know what I mean?
We've been talking about
it for a while, man.
We've been talking about it before. Everybody was talking about it, but I'm not going to be like, I was talking about it first, because plenty of people were talking about it, but now it's even more so, especially since it's impacting a lot of people directly, and they're kind of looking at it as their means to kind of stay relevant. But I can talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it ad nauseum. I don't want to continue. Like, I want to find other things to talk about, other things that I enjoy, or my co-hosts enjoy. Because this is going to be done someday, and we're still going to get that shit shoved down our throat. There's going to be reality shows that'll come out with people who had family members that died of coronavirus, and there's going to be this whole fucking passionate cutaway to the person that's like, I lost my grandpa to coronavirus. I hope I win the $1 million so that I can contribute it to research for the coronavirus. and shit like that. I mean, there's going to be tons of that. Reality shows are going to be rife with coronavirus impacted people.
You know, the only reason I'm talking about it though is lack of material, and I kind of feel like my show is one of those, since I do it live, that people are going to come across it naturally, and then it's kind of like a radio show, man. You're kind of regurgitating the same shit, trying to make it better, and then once you come out with new material, then you just move on to that. It's kind of like what I do. I don't think anybody else does that.
No, I mean, I think that's kind of what a lot of shows do that don't really have a structure or a format. Our show's a lot like that. We kind of we come on and talk, and we talk about a lot of current events. We'll talk about stuff that's going on in politics and different stuff. It helps having more people there because you can kind of
take a break.
Different scopes. You can take a break. You can have like somebody may have more knowledge on a subject. Like sometimes we'll be talking about wrestling, and I don't know a lot about wrestling, but a couple of my co-hosts know a lot about wrestling. So I can kind of sit back and let them kind of have a little bit of banter back and forth about wrestling. And I can kind of be like, okay, cool. And so it gives me a break.
I heard that's been like the saddest thing on wrestling so far is no crowd. Like the guys trying to work the crowd over are working no fucking crowd. And then they're just kind of like, what do I do? And then people have been pointing out the fact that since you can hear a pin drop, right? That you can hear them talking to each other about what their next move's going to be.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is hilarious. But yeah, man, this coronavirus, though, I mean, I'm writing it to the fucking end. I really am. It's not because I really don't have anything else to talk about. I mean, I could really probably just pull some of out of my ass if I wanted to, but I feel like there's not enough awareness going on, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of stupid shit out there that they shouldn't be doing. There's too many people that are really uptight, living their lives, and I mean, you got to find that little sweet spot, man. You really do. You're just going to drive yourself crazy. Kind of like that month where I drove me and my girlfriend crazy talking about conspiracy theories. Like there was anything and everything. I was fucking with them all, man. And then I just had to tell myself, you need to fuck off with all that stuff. It's driving you insane. So I kind of see this show kind of like a radio station. I can kind of work on the material just back and forth and then kind of feed off of that. I mean, nobody really interacts with me on the comments. If they do, they say that I'm an idiot or, they call me stupid and they ask me if I'm okay. I mean, they don't really understand the shtick. You know what I mean? Like, they really don't understand what I'm bringing to the table. But, I mean, they don't have to. As long as they're watching, I guess it's cool,
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're doing. And maybe I get it the way that I get it. Maybe I don't get it the same way other people get it. So, and maybe I don't even get it the way that you're intending for people to get it. But there's a way, my perception of what you're doing, I get. So, if that helps anything.
Yeah, like I was talking to this guy. I did a whole fucking thing about it. We haven't talked about this yet. I actually listened to a show. It was on the bus, and then I came across this guy. I remember seeing him on, the promoting pages, the groups, and then I said to myself, you know what? Maybe he's got something. He's got video, he's got a TV with his name on it, and whatever. And then I was left with nothing else but a fucking goose egg, man. Like this guy had nothing. He claimed to be a comedian. He claimed this and that, and then I was just like, fuck, man. I just wasted a fucking 20 minutes of my life. And I can't stop because I already said I was going to dedicate the show to this. And so I just proceeded to shit on him. I mean, I didn't know what else to do.
Was this that
I tried to talk to him about it. The what?
Is this that Dolio guy?
Oh, no, man. I haven't talked to that guy. No, this is another guy. His name's The Life of Lou. His name's Lou Cervantes. Did we talk about that or no?
You might have mentioned it. So he's got shit, but it doesn't have shit.
Man, you know what? I mean,
is he on Facebook?
Yeah, he's on Facebook. I mean, he's on YouTube and all that crap. I mean, it's just, I find it amazing though. Like, you got editing, you got all this crap going on, and nobody watches you. I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, is it because people like the live stuff more than the actual videos themselves, even if you have production value? I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his page right now, and
I really don't mind talking about him either, though. I mean, people say, "Oh, you're talking bad about me. You're talking good about me. You know, you're giving me exposure." I mean, I don't really see any of that stuff. I really don't. I just like, you know what? I did it, and I'm talking about it because it happened, and that's about the extent of it. I don't think anybody watching is going to be like, "Oh, let me go look at that shitty show he's talking about that he said was shit, and there was nothing on there called The Life of Lou." You know what I mean? And as I'm shitting on them, though, my past couple of videos have got like no hits, really. But they've gotten more hits than this guy. You know, they're at least on par or doing better than what he's doing.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at his videos and stuff, and I mean, he's got some what are those the foam in the background? I always see the foam in the background, and I think that's like people are like, I got foam back here for acoustics, so take me seriously.
Oh,
I've got foam. Well, fuck your foam.
I think he's doing it in his living room, though. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of people do that, and you know, I guess it works for. But I'm in my shop, and I don't have any foam anywhere, and I think my sound's okay.
Yeah, the internet connection shit, but you know, the sound's not bad.
My internet connection's rock solid, sir. I'm plugged right in. I've got that's on you, man.
Yeah, you know, man, fuck it, man. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm in a shed. I'm in the wilderness. You know what I mean?
What the dimensions of your shed are. The listeners want to know, what are the dimensions of your shed?
Oh, dude, this fucking shed's ginormous, man. It really is.
How big is the door coming in? Is there an actual garage door? Or is that just like tin wall behind you?
Oh, right here? That's a wall, but right here to the left, there's actually a garage door that's pretty big. And in the front, there's a door. And there's actually a room in the front that you could it's probably comparable to a small room. And now the big room is kind of like a big living room. And then upstairs, there's an upstairs too. Yeah, it's pretty big in here.
So do you live above the shed that you're in?
No, I live in the house. No, I just come here to do some work.
So you live in okay, I need a floor plan. I need the whole floor plan.
For the house?
Yeah, for the house. No, I'm kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
Wow. There's like so much going on there.
Hey, did you ever get that tape back behind you?
No, I didn't. I don't even know what it is. I think it came with the shed though. It's probably like a manufacturer tag or something.
Yeah, I bet you if you tear it off, the whole shed comes down.
Oh man, it's pretty sturdy. It's pretty solid. It does have a leak though. It does have a leak over here to my left, but yeah.
So what do you estimate?
But yeah, I love coming in here.
To be?
The what?
What do you estimate the dimensions of it to be?
Oh, I could probably say the square footage is probably 300 or 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy. Yeah. It's pretty big in here. Now I do need a fan in here because if it's almost 90 outside, or if it is 90, it's probably pushing almost 100 in here, you know?
Yeah. So what big plans do you have? Are you going to do are you getting a green screen? Are you thinking about getting a green screen?
Man, I don't really know what's going on with the podcast right now. I know I wanted to get a MacBook. You know, I was thinking maybe an i5 like processor, but I don't know if that's going to be fast enough. I know if you get like 16 gigabytes RAM, you know, you might be good to go. But yeah, I'm probably looking at about maybe 600 to 700 for something like that, like a used one.
Yeah. The laptop I bought I think it's an i5, if I remember right, and I got it last year. It struggles when I was using OBS. It seems to do better with StreamYard. Time will tell. I'm going to keep playing with StreamYard and see how it goes for this next few weeks. And then if I like the ultimate outcome, then I'll probably re-up for a year. But I don't know. If I were you,
What kind of RAM you got?
What's that?
What's the RAM you got? What is it?
16 gigs, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might just be the processor though. Maybe you have too much shit on there. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, and I only just recently kind of fucked with my settings a little bit so that I had things I think jacked way up higher than they needed to be for like the processing speed, but it seems to be doing a lot better with StreamYard than with OBS. OBS, I was running into issues. I don't know, halfway between every show. Or I'd do something stupid and not turn my microphones on, and so then we'd be talking and having a good old time. But for the life, nobody could hear us.
Oh man, I do the same shit though. Like I don't know if you've watched some of my videos in the beginning though, but some of them have like shit sound, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't plug it in, and then I plug it in, and then you can hear like everything so much better.
Yeah, I had.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to everybody, man.
Sticky notes, letting me know I need to turn X on, turn this on, turn that on. But if I don't do that, then I kind of fuck myself over.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a Mac. I kind of feel like Macs are just kind of like the gold standard, you know, when it comes to computers.
No, I love. I have an iMac, but it's 10 years old now, and so when we did the podcast originally, it was great for that. And I actually wasn't even using it for the podcast at the time. I was using a PC that I built, and the Mac was kind of like strictly for editing videos because I fancied myself a video production guy for a little while, and I was going to do that as a side business. But I grew tired of that very quickly, and so that kind of got discarded. But then I used the Mac as kind of a podcast computer for a little while before we ended the show. And then when we came back to doing the show, I used the Mac for a while. And then last year I upgraded to the laptop I'm using. I just didn't, I'm always looking for the inexpensive route instead of like the route that will get me there for a lot longer. And sometimes I need to kind of like be more patient and save up more money and just like spend the money on something a little bit better so that I can kind of get to the point that I want to be.
You know, I mentioned this before to you, but there's like 5 of you guys, I think, something like that. What if you guys all donated plasma? I mean, you'd have equipment in no time. Did you guys ever think about doing that?
To donate plasma in town that pays.
Oh, really?
And I also take blood thinners because I had a blood clot when I was 24. And I don't know if they take my blood because I take blood thinners.
No, that's one of those things that you just don't talk about it. You know what I mean? Because you'd be in and out in no time, man. You'd be literally in and out in no time. It'd be like 20 minutes. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. As soon as I get a car, I'm thinking about just funding the operation just by doing donations of plasma because you can probably get like 500 the first month, and then after that, you're looking at probably 300 every month. So yeah.
I don't think we have a regular blood donation center here, but I don't think we have a plasma place. But we might. I don't know. I'm not going to drive super far out of the way, but I know that you guys probably do down there for sure.
Oh yeah, we got so many of them. You know, I was looking at buying cars, and I was thinking about, you know what, maybe we should save a little bit of cash and just buy some cash car, you know. But yeah, I'm looking at CarMax. I mean, of course they fuck you, right? I mean, who doesn't fuck you? But I mean, you're looking at cars, they're pretty nice, and I think the cheapest one they got is some Hyundai GSL or something, and it's like a 2010, but it looks like it came out of the 80s, and it's only like $6,000. And then you got like your GTIs for like 10. Then you got your Volvos and your Acuras, and you know, some high dollar cars you're looking at maybe a $300 payment every month.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I just I know it's getting to the point where it's just like I need a car, not only to save time, right? Because time is money, but then I can also do other stuff. You know, I can get a better job because I have a car, and then I'm thinking about just biting a bullet, man. Just trying to get something solid, but I don't know.
No, I don't. We just bought a car in January, the first brand new car that we've bought in probably close to about 20 years. I had a new Hyundai Accent in 2000, and then my wife before we met had a 98 Corolla was her first new car, like brand new. And so this year we bought a Honda.
Wow, 98, brand new.
Yeah.
How old are you guys? Like 60, 70, 70-ish?
No, we were we were like
Jeez.
kids then. We were like 18. 19, 20.
98. Wow.
Then.
Wow.
I'll be 41 this year. But so
hey,
yeah.
Tell us all what it was like to live during the Great Depression. Can you tell us what it's going to be like in the months ahead?
Well, yeah. See, I've lived through a lot of stuff. I've lived through some shit, man. I lived through the 80s.
No. HIV was still rampant back then too, right?
Yeah, it was scary then. And then Magic Johnson got it and didn't ever die from it, and then everybody kind of like got unscared of it. I think medicine advanced to the point where they can treat it better. I don't think that it hasn't been cured, but it's more treatable now than it was then.
So basically, I got some news on that.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend, though, I think it was like a couple months ago, she was like, you should get tested for a chlamydia or something. I'm like, why? And then, I don't know, man. She overreacts over so much stuff. She said that a long time, this came out months later. She said that a long time ago that some guy had it and she thinks that she had it or whatever. And then somehow that relates to 2020 when that was so many years ago. And then she tells me to go get tested, and I do. And then during the, because I went to a health clinic, one of these state clinics here in San Antonio. And I think they charged me something ridiculous like $10, and then you look at the, the fee sheet, and then it's knocking down like $285 or something like that. So I got it for nothing basically. But they play these commercials, right, that they make. And one of the commercials was talking about the HIV and the AIDS. And they were like, you know what? If you take this pill, then it prevents it from happening 99.9% of the time. And there was this gay on there, this gay guy on there. And and he was like, you know what? I don't even use condoms anymore. Joe. I don't do anything. Canceled. Man, you know what? I'm just telling you what this guy said, though. But he said that he doesn't even wear a rubber no more. That he's going to roll the fucking dice. And he's had sex with so many men that he hasn't contracted anything.
Yeah, maybe it's all a hoax.
Woo! The Dallas Buyers Club. Have you seen that movie? That movie's fucking awesome,
man. No, I didn't actually watch that movie. That's one movie I didn't watch. I felt like a lot of it felt like a lot. Felt like I had to get really invested emotionally, and I didn't. So I didn't watch it.
It's a good family movie,
Oh,
you sit down all the little children and watch it.
Be like, this guy's gonna get
on the 86-inch screen.
Yeah. We'll watch that right after Onward.
Oh, is that the show that you like talking about? That nobody watches but you? You're like the only person?
I don't know what you're talking about. What show's that?
Isn't it Onward? Isn't that the show?
No. I don't know what show I watched that nobody watches.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there was a show out there that they just spend millions and millions of dollars on just for you. Like nobody else is going to watch it. You're like the only one.
No. Onward's that Disney Pixar movie that just came out that they that was theatrical, but then they released on video.
Released on streaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where nobody's going to theaters anymore, so they're probably going to drop everything just straight to, I don't know, whatever. You're going to buy it, or maybe they're going to put it on a stream.
Yeah, the movie that we watched the other night, we watched The Hunt, and that was a good movie. But that was supposed to be theatrical at first, and then it became available to buy. Or you could not buy it, but you could rent it for like purchase cost. So we rented it, and my boy, it's a hard R. That's a hard R rated movie, but we watched it with my 13 and 11-year-old boys. But got a kick
Hey,
out.
if I were you, I would have the A bomb, just like the mushroom cloud and everything, just in the background, just going off. You know what I mean?
That's
Just
not
as long as it lasts. That's what I would have it.
It's not a bad
That
idea.
would be looking amazing. I mean, that brick wall is looking pretty solid, man. It looks real.
Yeah, doesn't it?
You got anything crazy on your little, I don't know, your walls? You got anything awesome?
Like any pictures? That's awesome. Really?
Well, I mean, you got movies though. Don't you got like videos or something you can play in the background?
Oh, I don't think it does video. I don't think the option for it does videos. This is just through StreamYard. Let's see here.
How long did it take you to set up all that stuff, man? I mean, you got so much stuff going on the screen, you know? What kind of time did you spend on that?
Oh, not a ton. But I can do a lot from just sitting on my ass in front of my TV on my laptop. The software that I use is Pixlr. It's Pixlr, and it's free. It's free online software, and you can do quite a bit with it. And so I just do that, and it actually. So when I do like the overlays and stuff, and I build these, I do it with that. They actually recently changed the software I was using was outdated, or the Pixlr software, the program of Pixlr that I was using was outdated, and they finally phased it out. So I was forced to learn the new version of the photo editor, but I've got it down now. It's pretty easy. I like it.
Hey, you know what I was going to ask you though? I think Apple comes out with these miniature desktops, right? They call them, I can't remember. They're like a little box though. Would that be something that you could use for podcasting?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're kind of like those the Blueberry type devices. But yeah, I think so, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that.
Man, I was kind of thinking about doing something like that, man, because I mean, if you could save in space and then have like a lot of power coming out of a little box, I mean, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I've got tons of space here. That's the nice thing in my shop. I like the desk that I built is we had new cabinets put in our house last summer or 2 summers ago now, and the desk I built from a lot of the materials for the desk are from reclaimed materials from the old cabinets. So the countertop or the desktop that I'm using is like the back to our cabinets.
Oh, so, nice. And that's what I need. I need something like that, man. Yeah.
It's a great setup.
Hey, let me ask you a question. So if I were just say fuck the tablet and got like one of these newer iPhones, do you think I would have better quality than the tablet?
Well, how old's your tablet?
This mini iPad probably came out in like 2008.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm not even sure how you like. I have an iPad mini that we bought when Shopko was closing, and a lot of the programs won't even work on there because everything's been updated to the point where it's outpaced the last operating system that's compatible with that iPad. So the iPad I can use for like some real fundamental things, but I can't really go too crazy with it. I would think if you got a new phone with a good amount of space on it, and I only say a good amount of space on it because I don't ever like clear my pictures off my phone, and I take a lot of screenshots.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm looking at maybe like an XR, like 128 gigabytes, or maybe the XS. with like I don't know what would they come with 256, 512, something like that.
I think they go from they go to 128 to 256 gigs, and I have
I think that would be perfect though.
Yeah. And I haven't even hit I still have a lot of room on mine, and I've been using it without cleaning it off for probably 2 years now. And I have a real shit, like my phone's piece of shit. It's it's not a piece of shit. I shouldn't say that, but it's an iPhone SE, which was like,
it is a piece of shit. Yeah,
it's like in between the 5 and the 6.
I mean, I'll tell you what it is. It's a broke man's iPhone. That's what it is.
Yeah,
anything with SE in front of it, it's a broke man. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it. Well,
they're like, you know what? You want an iPhone? We're gonna give this to you because you're broke.
That was $500. Even then, that
was $500. Damn,
that's a lot.
What do you get? Like 32 gigs? Is that what it is?
No, I have 128 gigs on this.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, it's pretty outdated, man. I'm gonna grab another beer though. You gonna keep the people watching?
Sure thing, man. I got to get out of here pretty quick though, because I got to fix dinner. I just drank a beer. You see that explosion in the background? Explosion. I don't have quite the same vibrant personality as my co-host here, but I can try and say we're fucking live. Fucking live. Hot mic. Hot mic. Right? That's what he says. Live. We're live. Just waiting to see when he comes back here. It's like I'm wondering if he's like brewing the beer. Did you go to the brewery? Hey, if you're checking us out, leave a comment. Leave a little comment in the comment section there. We'll shout you out. And if there's something you want to hear us talk about, let us know. Leave a comment. Let us know you're here, so we can say hello to you. We're here watching for eyeballs. But hey, definitely need Joe to get back here because I'm running out of stuff. See that explosion behind me? I'll change that real quick. Let's see here. Got a living room. See, you like my piano back there? It's my piano. I sit down and I play that piano on the weekends. I play a lot of classical shit on my piano, and then we sit on the nice comfortable couch there behind me and we watch TV. The maid comes by, and I'm like, "Listen, maid, get off your ass and vacuum my carpet." And the maid's like, "Fuck off, guy." And I tell the maid, "You're gonna eat my shit." And then I make her cook it in the microwave. I think I've kept this listener at bay. The one listener we have in here, Joe. He's
one. Wow.
Yeah. Got one eyeball in there.
Shit. Jeez. Facebook Lives though, man. I mean, it doesn't like when we do a video though, a live. It seems like nobody watches when we do one. I don't know why.
Yeah, they see. Oh, he's talking with a person.
I don't understand it though. Why do you think people don't watch when we do a live?
I don't know. I mean, you'd think they'd be drawn to more to two people talking more than one. But I've looked at your numbers. When it's just you on there, more people are like, "What's this guy doing?" When it's like this whole display that we have, we have this whole thing, all this laid out for him, and then they're like, "Nah."
It's too fancy, right? Is that what it is? It's too fancy.
Yeah.
People big time. I don't want to fuck with them.
Yeah. That's what it is.
So what do you think, man? Do you think I should get a badass phone? Or do you think I should get like a decent laptop or maybe like a combination of both?
I don't know. I mean, I'd either go the laptop route. That computer you showed me the other day, I mean, I'd be all right. I don't know if it. I always have a hard time with computers because I know that they tend to get worse over time. But some people can stretch the life of a computer out pretty long if they get something that's like decent and they can kind of make it last. But and I wonder. I think they make them a little bit more. They make them so they last a little bit longer. I think as soon as you install like antivirus software on them, though, you're fucked, and you just get viruses because you installed antivirus.
Oh yeah.
Software on them. I don't put any antivirus software on mine, and I don't get viruses. But in the past, historically, if I have antivirus software, I seem to get viruses, and I don't do a lot of.
Hey, you know what's crazy about that computer? That computer's got a terabyte. It's got an i7 processor, and it's only $300. Now, on the flip side, if you get a MacBook Pro and it's got an i5, processor, and then it's got 16, gigabyte RAM, it's more expensive than that thing. You know what I mean? And this essentially it's got more. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, Mac is pretty happy or pretty impressed with themselves, but. The iMac that I had, I ran for quite a long time. I upgraded the RAM in it from 8 gigabytes of RAM to 16 at a certain point, and it helped out all right. But it's a 10-year-old Mac. At a certain point, it's just going to hit its tipping point, and it's not going to be able to function with today's needs.
So, what do you think would be better? Like, just getting a desktop or a MacBook, like whatever Mac you can get, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm a big Mac proponent. I like Macs, but last year I ended up going with the laptop with just a regular Windows 10 ThinkPad laptop. It was like $900, but it's got a solid state drive, so it's like. Boots up really fast. It's been really reliable for the most part. I got it so that I could take my work, like when we finish off the show, I could take it inside and work on it in the house, so I wouldn't have to fucking come sit out in the shop and edit my stuff. But now that I have the laptop, I'm actually thinking about getting just a tower that I can have out here in the shop that I can connect to. And then I can just throw whatever I'm editing onto a flash drive and bring it in the house and work on it in the house. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff though. The one thing I like about the MacBook Pro though, it doesn't get hot though. The laptop, like it doesn't overheat. Like they got the fan system just figured out.
Yeah. Well, Macs are great computers. I love. My wife's got a MacBook that she uses for work, and. I mean, the one she had before I was using for a while. And it's 10 years old and it still kicks along pretty good. Even with my daughter like smashed it into a doorway and like split out the frame of it, but it still works. So they're a good computer, but they're just really expensive.
Yeah, man.
Not the money to throw at it initially. I mean, it's gonna last quite a bit longer than I think a PC would, just a regular desktop PC would.
If you go to bestbuy.com, man, they got so many older Macs on there on the cheap. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that might be an option. Just get one of these older models that has like a i5, processor, 16 gigabyte RAM.
Just go a couple of years back. Don't go too far back. But yeah, you can get an older one that's had a little bit of use for a couple of years. I think you'd do fine. You'd spend less money on it for sure. The new ones, man, you can get up into like $2,000 before you know it if you're not careful.
Oh, you're talking about $4,000, bro,
Yeah.
for a used one, like a used high tier model one. That's crazy. It's like, what kind of shit could you do with that? You know what I mean? That's crazy, man.
Oh yeah.
I was actually doing some research, and they were saying that the best laptops to actually do some streaming, whether it be gaming or Twitch or Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is, or these gaming laptops. Have you heard anything about these?
No, not a lot.
Yeah, some of them have like 64 RAM, man, gigabytes. That's crazy. Some people call it overkill.
Yeah, I would say so. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of people like gamers. That's a whole different world. Man, I've never been into gaming, but I know that people look pretty. Yeah, if gamers get monetized, they want to have like a high end system so that they can actually perform while they're doing their live streams and stuff.
The last time I jumped on a podcast, I brought up this question, right? It's basically a Louis C.K. bit. I don't know if you follow him too much, but he came out with this thing a while back. He was like, you know what? If you're a white person, you can go back in time, basically in any time period in history, and be welcome with open arms. Like they'll have a gift basket for you, and you won't be a slave. So there's that, and it's just like if you had to re-up for a fucking race every year, like he was talking about this, he's like, I would pick white every time. Like there's no other race that I would pick. I mean, eventually, what he said though was, white people are going to pay for it, in the future, because I don't know. He had something. I can't remember what the bit was, but I don't want to destroy his bit, so I'm not going to sit here and speculate about it. But I feel like it's kind of true though. You remember that?
Yeah, vaguely. I'm terrible at like recall, so I don't have I'm not the guy I'm not the person you go to have you retell a joke, because my recall ability is terrible.
So what do you think about that, man? Do you think that white people have it so good that if I guess the majority of the population had a re-up or pick a different race to be a part of, for the upcoming year, do you think that most of them would pick white?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. I mean, I'm white, and I don't have a lot. Like a lot of people have what they call white guilt, and I don't have that. It's not because I don't feel that minorities
Oh,
haven't been
this is a part of the show where a white person justifies the injustices that have happened in the past years.
right.
That's funny.
No, I'm not justifying anything, because I don't. There's been some abhorrent stuff that's gone on, and the white man's history is bloody at best. But I
Oh
am
man.
a big enough narcissist in and of myself, and as a white person, that I don't have white guilt personally, because I'm an individual, and so to feel like, I mean, yeah, am I fortunate to be white, and am I good fortune for my circumstances? Yeah, definitely. Am I also fortunate to be an American? Oh yes, yes. To be white and born in America, I mean, that's like the best you can have it, as far as stature, I guess. I don't know. But I don't. But I also work hard. I work hard for. I do. I work hard for the money that I earn. It's hard to sit here and be like, I'm white and I'm proud. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm an individual, and regardless of the color of my skin, I feel like my character is gonna be the part of it that wins out. But maybe,
Oh, your character. Oh, ain't that
yeah,
beautiful? You
yeah,
know, I think
Well,
that it actually helps white people actually get a job when the person behind the desk looking at the applications is looking at white names. There's a black person that talked about this. I think it was D.L. Hughley, man, the great D.L. Hughley, right? His comedy sucks though, but whenever he speaks, so just normal, he doesn't sound like a moron, and I like what he has to say, but he was talking about, I proactively decided not to name any of my kids anything crazy like Joanna, Jaquan, Shaquille. I mean,
right,
I'm
right.
just coming up with shit off the top of my head, but he gave them white names just to kind of prove a point, though. Whenever they go down the application list and they think that they might be white, then they might have a better chance of making it, so to speak. What do you
Right.
think about that?
I think it's probably it's different wherever you're located. I mean, you're also you're talking to a white man that lives in northern Idaho. So we're predominantly white up here. So I don't have the I guess luxury of being surrounded by a melting pot, if it were as it were, of like other races and other like I can sit here and I'd be like, I don't consider myself to be racist because I feel like that's a real uh, that's a real fine line. But at the same time, I'm not in the thick like I'm not in an area or a demographic location where I am amongst a lot of other like racial or cultural surroundings. So I don't have a lot of like. I feel like I'm not equipped to have a real great position on it because I am in this part of the country that we don't have a lot of like different races of people. I mean, there's certainly people, but in this area, we're also very prone to uh, pick out and pick on stereotypes because of the fact, like, if we see like for example, if we see like a group of Asian people like kind of like convening in one section, I mean, your head starts to like you get to thinking, and it's like, what are they up to? And it's like it's not meant to be like
What are they up to?
it's not meant to be like
That's funny.
racist or
Oh my
not.
gosh.
I hate to say that because it's like it
Are they
totally
fixing
sounds
to
like
make
it
some
is.
sushi? Some Asian food? Some fried
Right.
rice? Like, what's going on over there? They must be up to no good.
Yeah, they're up to something. They're all standing there in a circle and they're laughing. They're always laughing. But no,
It, is that the way it is though? Like when you live in a place that's like you're talking about, where it's just white people. I mean, let's be honest here, Ward. You don't have one minority on your goddamn show. Not one. Not even blackface. Not
no, I
even a
would.
blackface, man. You don't even have that.
No, we won't. That won't
You
happen.
know.
I promise.
I mean,
No,
I
yeah,
don't
I
give a
do.
fuck, man. I mean, I could literally sit here and watch blackface and find humor in it. I mean, I don't see why people get offended over it. I mean, black people they dress up as white people all the time, and people think it's hilarious. I don't see what the difference is.
Well, there's history there. It's because of the history. It's
Fuck the
because
history, Ward. I
what's that?
mean, you know what? Comedy is fucking comedy, bro. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work one
I don't
fucking
disagree
way.
with you.
I mean,
I
it's
don't
got to
disagree with
be
you.
some fucking even. Yeah.
So culturally though, so are you Hispanic or because your last name is a Hispanic last name? Are you?
Yeah, the only thing separating me from the Filipinos is the Z in my last name because apparently Smith is is like the same thing as Espinoza over there.
Oh,
That would be the common. Yeah, it'd be kind of like white people over here with Smith. Somebody Smiths, but yeah, my parents are from Mexico, so yeah. I mean, I guess you'd call him Mexican if you wanted to, but I'm one of those type of people, man, that I don't really relate to the color of my skin. So I don't know if you know what that means or not, but I don't have an accent. I don't act like anybody that looks like me. I mean, hell, people see me and they're like, I don't even know what the fuck you are until they see my name. You know what I mean? So
right, right.
yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Like I don't know. I mean,
You're universal.
I am
You're
what I
like
am.
you're like Dwayne Johnson. You're the Rock, man. You're the Rock. You're the beard. You're the Rock with a beard. Because he has this universal thing to him. Like you don't know, like from a cultural standpoint, you don't know what culture he is. Like I think he's Samoan.
Oh, well, if you were to ask me, I'd say
Mostly.
he's black. That's what I would say. I mean, you could sit there and say Samoan, but that's what I'm going to go with. I mean, you can say Samoan, you can say he's a Puerto Rican. I mean, he's black. That's what he is to me. You know, it's kind of like when people in this country, they're like, they get so offended when people are like calling them Puerto Rican, they're calling them Cubans, they're calling them whatever. In their heads, that's what they call themselves. But the rest of the nation, they're calling them Mexican. And for some reason, it seems like the Mexicans are like the roaches of the nation. That's what it seems like because they're white hated by everybody. Like I don't know why. I think it's because Mexico just kind of fucked it up for everybody. I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't say. I mean,
Come on, man, say something mean. Come on, say something.
I don't have anything mean to say.
Come on, you're white. You're white. You're born with mean stuff to say. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. You're from Idaho. You don't have a minority friend at all, you know?
No, I do actually, but I don't have one. I don't have one that'll be on the. I've got one, Joe. No, I don't. I really don't have a lot, though. To be honest, I grew up like the town I went to school at had like we had like a minority in our like we had minorities in our school, but we never looked at them as minorities. We grew up in this really small like Montana town, and we had like 70 people in our high school. So like numbers counted for something. It was more about the number of people and not the race of people that were
Let me
there.
ask you a question.
Like
so you didn't go home every night and you were like, Mommy, why is the black guy run so much faster than everybody? Why is he so much better at sports than us? You like that never once crossed your mind? Never, ever.
Not me. I'd say that there were definitely racist people in our town. We had Mexicans that were like racist towards black people in our town.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah, you know, I can't relate though, man. I really can't. You know, like when I grew up, you know, I got in a lot of fights with the black kids because they're a little bit more ornery than white kids. But the white kids were a lot meaner though, man. They flaunted a lot of their money at you, and anytime you wanted to do something to them, they were just like, "Oh, you know what? Hey, what's going on here?" And you're just like, "Bitch, you just said I was poor, and you said I'm wearing fucking this and that, and how you think I'm stupid, and now you ain't got nothing to do. Like, what are we doing right now? You know?" And the black guys, they would just fight you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And as I grew up, you know, it wasn't about like, hey, you know what? Fuck black people, fuck white people. It was just kind of like, you know, they're just shitty people out in the world. I mean, that's just the kind of way I looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all just about individual's personal character. I don't think it has to do with necessarily your culture or your race that makes you a good or bad person or a piece of shit. Because I know plenty of like, I don't know a lot of like black people, but I know a few, and a couple of the ones that I know. So 2 of the 3, Joe, are kind of shitty assholes. Are they shitty assholes because they're black? No, they're shitty assholes because they're shitty assholes. That's just the way.
You know, I kind of find it funny though. There's a lot of white people though that, for some reason though, they find it really awkward to talk about racial issues in America. You know, and the one thing they always tell you is, you know what? I'm not racist. I have one black friend. You know, and I used to know this fat Mexican dude that I worked at the prison system with. And the black guys that were prisoners, they would always be like, you know what? You're fucking racist, you fat fuck. He'd be like, I'm not racist. I fuck black women, you know? And then that'd be just fucking hilarious just hearing him say that. Because you look at him, he's probably pushing 500 pounds. He's like 5'8". And then you're like, you're probably not fucking anybody. You know what I mean? But for him to sit there and say that with the confidence and the balls, the audacity, it just, I don't know. I put it over the top, man.
Well, and I think that it is hard because you saw how I'm like, I got really tap dancey about the subject as a whole, because it's like you don't want to. The first thing that I feel like as a white person is people are going to be like, okay, that white person's going to say, I'm not racist, XXX. And it's like, so we have that in our heads as whites, as the supreme race, that we're going to get attacked on that.
You know what's funny though? Like, there's people that act like you, right? And then there's people that they're like, everybody should love everybody. Everybody's beautiful. And it's just like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, that's not the way of the world, man. And you know, that's nice and everything in context that you're putting it. But in our reality, you know, they're our world for whatever reason, you know? Yeah, and I just don't understand it. I really don't.
It's there, and it's especially more, you know, it's more prevalent now than it's been for a while, just because of the current political climate and the way that things have been. Like, I mean, I'm not a big Trump fan, but I also can say, well, he makes some good points when he's talking about the way the media portrays him, and it's like, well, I mean, I can't argue with his argument that the media does tend to come at him from a really, like, especially the first couple of years of his presidency, it was like every night on the news, it was like you turn the news on and it was like, this is what Trump had to say today, and it was like this whole like
sound bites. That's all it is. Sound bites.
Well, this is what Trump had to say, and it was this kind of telling you had to feel a certain way or feel outrage about it. And I don't like being told how I'm going to feel about something, so it made me really kind of off-put. Like, I would talk with people that didn't want to vote for Trump because they were really like, the grab him by the pussy thing was really offensive to them. And that, I'm not saying it's not offensive, but at the same time, he said it. He owned that he said it, and he gave whatever excuse he was, and it wasn't good enough for some people. And it wasn't, maybe it was not good enough for me. But don't tell me how I should feel about it.
You know what, man? You know what I gotta say about that? Because I've heard the grabbing of the pussy thing. What's crazy about this statement is, for some reason, whenever there's somebody up in power, somebody that holds some kind of stature in the world, right? Like Donald Trump, right? The president. Then all of a sudden, everybody just kind of fucking forgets that he's human, And the same people that are sitting there talking shit behind fucking doors, they're getting told the same fucking shit, and they don't have any goddamn problem with it. That's the problem I have with it. Because if we shut the fucking doors and, me and my girlfriend are doing our thing and I'm saying some shit to her, the same stuff that might come out of his fucking mouth. If I say the same fucking thing to her, she's going to be okay with it. And she's going to love me for it. But, that's like, just, it resonates with everybody out there, man.
His thing and he was coached on what to say, but his thing where he said it was locker room talk. I mean, there's a part of me that gets that, because we grew up in a time where like words like, I don't know, but yeah, you're close enough to my age. You probably grew up in a time where words like retard and faggot and things like that were pretty like widely used, and either in a, not always in a derogatory way, but just in kind of like a communal way where you just communicate that way. Like, you'd walk through the door and you'd be like, "What's up, faggot?" And you can't, like, you have to think about it when you say that. Now I can't just walk through the door and be like, "What's up, faggot?" I mean, I'm nervous saying it now. Like, who am I going to offend by saying that? Because like, everybody's so easy to offend. Like, no, you can't say that anymore. And it's like, well, it became a common part of everybody's vernacular, and it did get like kind of like, I don't like, I'd say the one word that I've never really like just comfortably said is the N word. A lot of people say it with like no qualm about it, but I never have. I've never felt that comfortable about it, but that was also because it was drilled into us when we were kids that was such a off touch, and out of the realm of possibility of being like, other than I think it probably came up on the end knocking, when you go knock on doors and you run off. I think that's probably where it had been said before. But outside of that, I mean, retard and faggot were really common, especially in Hicksville, Montana. I mean, those were still pretty commonly used words there for the time. And now it's like, and it wasn't ever like you're a faggot because you're gay and you like to have dicks in your butt. It was like, I don't know. It was never like that. I couldn't pinpoint it now, and to defend it.
You look so uncomfortable talking about it.
It is so uncomfortable. To defend it, you're like, I can't really defend it. It's not appropriate. It's not right. But at the same time, it was just what it was. Nobody fucking cared then, and now all of a sudden everybody cares, and so then you have to kind of like adjust and accommodate that, and it's a hard one to accommodate. I can't run for politics now because this is out there. Look, this episode is out there, and someone will track it down and be like, well, here he goes off on faggots and retards. And that's not what I'm doing. I'm just talking about the use of the word, but they're going to soundbite it. What they'll soundbite is every part where I'm like, what's up, faggot? That's going to be the part that gets soundbite, Joe.
You know what I feel about this, man? I feel like it's really unfortunate, not because people get offended, right? That's not it. But the fact that it's unfortunate is because you can get criminal charges brought upon you for saying this type of stuff, and they mask it, right? They mask it as hate speech. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why? Why is this happening? Because I know exactly what you're talking about. When I was a kid, you could sit there and call people faggot because they were acting like a fucking faggot. Whether or not they took dicks in the ass, I mean, that's another fucking story, right? Fucking retarded people, all this fucking shit. I mean, it had nothing to do with that. But, it's one of them things, man. Like, you can't do a lot of stuff, and I refuse to buy into it. I really do. If I want to call somebody a fucking faggot, transgender, queer, whatever the fuck I want to say, I'm going to fucking say it because I don't give a shit. Like, if people don't want to watch my show, if they're going to attack me on social media, then fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch all my shit, I mean, clearly, I'm not homophobic. I am not racist. I'm not anything. And the people that are accusing you of all this shit, they always have something bad to say about everybody. And I choose not to be part of that demographic of people that want to sit there and just shit on everybody on a daily basis, whether it be gossip or any other type of talk. It's more like, I'm feeling something in my brain. It's coming out of my mouth, and that's what it is. It doesn't have anything to do with the color of your skin. It's just more or less how I feel about you at that certain point in time.
Amen, man. Can I say amen? Am I allowed to say that if I'm not religious?
Man, you're not allowed to say a lot of shit in the world, apparently, man. Like, it's so crazy. I'm not religious either, and I hate the fact that people want to call you an atheist. Like, I don't even know. Like, it's just I don't want any of the titles. I don't like whatever it is you guys are doing.
Or an atheist.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of anything that you guys are a part of. Like, just keep me out of it. It just seems really mentally draining to sit there and put all your stock in somebody that's imaginary. And then you have to sit there and look at everything around you. And then you have to read the Bible and pinpoint, this is happening right now. And they do that all the fucking time. You're talking about Hitler. You're talking about Bush. You're talking about Mussolini. You're talking about all these historical people in history, and then anything they do something bad, like, oh, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? Is it though? Is it the end of the world? I don't know. Maybe for you because you're 100, but that's another story.
All right, man. Hey, I got to get out of here because I got to get some dinner before we come back and do Time Spent Poorly tonight. But yeah, if you're on and you want to check, come on and watch us, check it out. We'll be on.
How many hours you guys go?
I'm not sure how long we're going to go tonight. Our plan was to go longer and kind of break it into two parts, but I don't know what our plan is now that we're all doing it remote, because we're doing it remote. We're doing what you and I are doing for foreseeable future now. So be interesting.
Oh wow, that's gonna be fun to watch. Yeah. It's gonna be a shit show, man. That's what it's gonna be, though. Everybody's gonna be talking over each other, and it's just gonna be crazy.
Well, I hope it doesn't go quite so bad, but I think it'll be all right. There's going to be like 5 of us, so it might be a little chaotic at first, but I think we'll be okay.
All right, man. Enjoy the show, man.
Yeah.
I'll probably tune in, though. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Thanks for tuning in. Look down below for all if you're watching after the fact, look below to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. All this shit's out there. So there's this and whatever else we've created over the period of time. So check out the Joe Madness show. He's on. What are you on? Like every day? Every day? Almost?
Sometimes. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully it gets better, though. It's been pretty hectic, man. Like pretty
sporadic.
nasty.
You've been working a lot of overtime.
Couple days. Yeah, I know. All right, man. I'm out, bitches.
All right, later.